to the National Public Library in support of the National Public Library Archives and Documentation Services Libraries on the Move Reading Caravan campaign as its way of connecting families and communities through reading. On Thursday, November 17th, Director of the National Public Library, Michelle King Campbell, received the books at the Kingston Public Library Conference Room, presented by Ranita Peters Morris and Tamara Barrow of the House of Ellis. Founder of House of Ellis, McGregor Ellis, expressed the importance of reading as a fundamental part of our development, saying the simplest way to learn is to make fun and engaging books easily accessible. House of Ellis Inc. is a non-profit organization community development here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. 800 vendors are expected to be removed from the streets of Kingstown over the next 10 to 14 days, according to Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves. There are 389 registered vendors. From this number, 99 of them are expected to be sheltered in the newly built Uptown Market. This new market is expected to house those vendors who ply their trade in the different areas throughout Uptown Kingstown. An additional 182 vendors are expected to be moved into the newly completed downtown market. During his address at the opening ceremony of the vegetable markets uptown, on Thursday 17th, Gonsalves said, these 389 vendors account for the bulk of those who ply their trade in town on a regular basis. In addition, those who ply their trade through Middle Street will only be allowed to do so on one side of the road using the back of the police station. The Prime Minister also announced that the Kingston Town Board is making arrangements to facilitate a flea market in an organized manner. The structured form of vending being introduced is all part of the government's plan to upgrade the capital city, which includes the rehabilitation of Little Tokyo and the second largest capital project, the Port Modernization Project. Still on the local scene, the Rotary Club of St. Vincent and the Grenadines has launched its first major global grant fund project in collaboration with the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment, and with input from several Rotary clubs in Taiwan. This global grant, funded by Rotary International with financial contributions from others, the Rotary Club of Taipei, 22. Led by President Daniel Campbell and immediate past President Janelle Allen, the project team will drive the implementation of this breast cancer awareness project over 2 years, with results forecast reduction in the incidences of breast cancer-related deaths as a result of early detection through increased education, awareness, and regular accessible screening. Through this two-part grant-funded project, the Rotary Club of St. Vincent and the Ministry of Health will implement an ongoing awareness and education campaign, which extends beyond the traditional breast cancer awareness period in October, engaging the public to reduce the stigma associated with breast screenings. Additionally, the Rotary Club of St. Vincent has purchased and will present to the Ministry of Health 3 mobile ultrasound screening units, which are expected to arrive in SVG by January 2023. In the region, St. Lucia's Project Implementation Unit within the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs is working to ensure the successful implementation of performance-based financing, PBF, at primary healthcare facilities. This follows a recent training session on the development of a quality of care program for diabetes and hypertension. Performance-based financing, which will be piloted in 17 primary healthcare facilities, is expected to improve the management of non-communicable diseases. St. Lucia's consultant for health quality at the World Bank, Dr. Ben Chan, said performance-based financing is an effective approach to ensure that there is more screening and treatment of patients for diabetes facilities. He added that the training sessions help set a path for better outcomes as it relates to individuals accessing screening and treatment for diabetes and hypertension. More in the region. Jamaicans are being urged to keep the Jamaica Labour Party (JLP) in power for at least 20 consecutive years by Parliament member and wife to the country's Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, during her address to the JLP's annual conference. Holness argued that the country needs strong and visionary leadership. She said, Jamaicans have given us a mandate to transform this country to make it stronger. It is not by accident that we won so many seats in the last election. It is not by accident that this government is made up of the largest number of female representatives this country has ever seen. The Jamaican people needed to see visionary leadership, steady and strong hands, and a caring, genuine heart. The JLP came out victorious against the People's National Party (PNP) in 2020 last general election, winning 49 of the country's 63 parliamentary seats. Pointing to the PNP's long stretch in office from 1989 to 2007, Holness said, "We celebrate the wisdom of the Jamaican people in choosing this great party under the leadership of my husband, Andrew Michael Holness. Jamaica needs consistently great government. In the same way that we endured 18 and a half years of lukewarm leadership, Jamaica now deserves to have at least 20 years reaping the benefits under a strong, balanced, visionary, and accountable JLP government. We are the party that Jamaicans have been looking for. We are the party that should do it, can do it, and will do it." And finally, on the international scene, at least 56 people are dead and more than 700 injured after an earthquake struck Indonesia's main island, Java, confirmed by Governor Ridwan Kamil. According to geological survey data, the 5.6 magnitude quake struck the west of Java and at a shallow depth of 10 kilometers. Videos on social media showed some buildings reduced almost entirely to rubble and debris strewn on streets. Officials warn of possible aftershocks and say the death toll could rise. The area where the quake struck is densely populated and prone to landslides with poorly built houses. Rescuers have been trying to evacuate people from collapsed buildings and managed to save a woman and her baby, according to local reports. This has been WFM's 3 p.m. news. I have been your presenter, Jessica Klein. Join us again at 5:30 p.m. for WFM's evening news, and we thank you for listening.
Death is a fact of life. Even though death is a fact of life, that doesn't make it any